Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. This is a series that I started a couple weeks ago called Understanding Forex, in which I explain different Forex concepts, strategies, etc. In this video, we are going to be going over the pivotal point indicator and how I believe is one of the most underrated and underutilized indicator for beginners. So let's get started. So according to Investopedia, the pivot point is a price level calculated from previous prices. It's used to indicate potential areas of support or resistance that offer attractive risk to reward setups for traders. The pivotal point itself is simply the average of the intraday high and low and the closing price from the previous trading day. Trading above the pivotal point on the following day is thought to indicate ongoing bullish sentiment, while trading below the pivotal point indicates bearish sentiment. So if price is above the PP, which is the pivotal point, usually tends to mean that price is going to keep buying, and it's below the PP, the pivotal point, that means price might continue selling. So in simpler terms, the pivot point is an entry point that has been calculated using what happens from the previous day to decide it. It can also be used to find support or resistance that can potentially help in your trading. So we're just going to be going over the pivot point and trying to use it to help us set up entries. So as you can see, the P is the pivot point, so that's going to be most likely where we enter the trade, and the S is the support 1, R is the resistance 1. Usually is your support or resistance depending on which way you're going. I think it goes up to like S support 3, resistance 3 or 4. I'm not exactly too sure, but let's see if we could get an entry. And it looks like we might have something here. Never mind, the move already left us, so it looks like we might have to go to the next one. Oh, looks like we might have something over here. So bullish engulf followed by another bullish engulf that's slightly closed below the pivot point, which is over here. S1 is going to be our stop loss, R1 is going to be our take profit. So let's see if this plays out. And looks like we have the fortunate move that we were looking for, which is good. Let's see if we can find 2 more entries using the pivot point. And one just opened up, so let's see. Okay, here's another one. The risk to reward doesn't look that favorable, if I'm being honest. So we have a bearish engulf followed by another bearish engulf that closed below the pivot point. So our stop loss is going to be over here with the R1. Take profit is going to be over here with the S1. So let's see if this plays out in our favor, which I feel like it might. Did it hit TP? No, missed it slightly. And price just bouncing around. Yep, and broke. Looks like price broke below the S1. So let's see if we can find one more entry with the pivot point. And it looks like we might have another pivot point to play with. So let's see. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have anything to play with here. Yeah, it looks like we might have something here actually. This one looked favorable too, but I missed this, so we're gonna use this one. Bullish Harami followed by a bullish engulf that closed above the pivot point. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right over here. Resistance 1 is going to be our take profit, and S1 is going to be our stop loss. Again, risk to reward doesn't look that favorable, but again, we're using the indicator, so let's just see how this plays out. Yep, and price looks like it hit our take profit goal, so which is nice to see. Let me see if I can sneak just one more entry before this video ends. Also guys, I don't use this indicator that often. I barely even use it, if I'm being honest, so I don't know if I can recommend you entering another trade after it's hit the R1 or the S1 levels. Again, I haven't studied this indicator that well. I don't know the indicator that well to be able to do something like that. So if you want to maybe try that out, you're gonna have to test it and experiment with it yourself as well. But so far it looks like playing with just the pivot point area and using the S1 and R1 could be helpful. And we have another pivot point, so you can see P is right over here, S1 is right over here, R1 is right over here. So now we just need an entry. Alright, we got a confirmation of trend, but again, risk to reward doesn't look favorable at all. Stop loss gonna be over here, take profit's gonna be over here. I mean, you could put the stop loss over here if you want, but again, we're using the pivot points, so we're just gonna use the areas it gave us. So over here stop loss, over here take profit. Let's see if we get the hit that we're looking for. Price tanking, playing around, ranging, price is ranging, and we got our take profit hit. So, as you can see, the pivot point can be a helpful tool in your trading, especially if you're a beginner and still figuring out a strategy and the markets in general. Although it has its use case, just like any indicator, it isn't a guarantee, and you shouldn't rely solely on it or believe it's the answer that you've been looking for. It should be used as a tool, an add-on if it might, on how you are already trading. That's gonna be it for this video. If you're new here, subscribe, like the video if you like it, leave any thoughts, questions, comments, concern, inputs down in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.